All right, here we are. We're back at We Play Games. This is Vicky 3 Academy, and we're doing review the tutorial. And I hope you guys realize how much I love you because one of my very favorite streamers, LC Sula, he's like this old school Civ 4 player, is streaming Endless Space 2 right now. But I am on a mission. I wanna film the rest of this tutorial today. So sorry, Scylla. We'll catch up later. Right now we're fixing our capacity deficit. So as I said in the other one, like it's not that the tasks that they're asking us to do are necessarily unhelpful. It's just that like I think that they're doing themselves a disservice by pretending that like all of these things exist independently from each other and can't be used to feed into one another, right? Like there's no reason for me to build a wheat plantation, a wheat farm, when we should have built a paper mill, because that would have allowed us to change the methods of production, and it would have allowed us to understand production chains, and it would have been really clear and really obvious. But that, like that's why I'm making these videos. It's not to complain about the tutorial. It's to make suggestions on how to make the tutorial useful. Because right now it's kind of, I mean, again, like there should be a trigger in the game that pops up where the advisor is like, hey, you are at max gold reserve capacity. You should probably do something like maybe reduce your tax level, because if you can't figure out how to spend your money, then at the very least this will make your pops wealthier, which will help them grow. Like that doesn't necessarily mean that like they should be telling people to just run low taxes all the time. That's not what I'm advocating for. I'm advocating for like an evolving kind of tutorial with triggers, because that could also be useful. I think scripted specific missions is useful, and I think triggers is useful. I think what we're doing right now is underselling the capacities of the game to teach people how to play it. But we're getting there. We're building things very slowly. We have not yet been instructed to build a construction sector, nor have we really been explained to how to use that, or for that matter, how to use road maintenance. But that's, they're getting there. All right, so we got that, and now we're gonna go over to filing cabinets. Done. So that's gonna fix our capacity deficit. Now, mind you, the construction of that paper wasn't like obvious as something that I was going to want to do. That was just sort of like back end knowledge that I already had, because it just said fix the capacity deficit, and then it said changing that stuff up is cool, but yeah, the benefit you get from allocating the capacity, yeah, yep, okay, sure, it's going along. Patronize romanticism, sure. Yep. Conquest of the desert, sure. I don't know if the AI is set to colonize right now. It hasn't actually told me to colonize anywhere yet. So I probably shouldn't be colonizing here yet. But I don't want to give it up for nothing. I didn't want to give it up for nothing. I need the land. But yeah, here we are. We're just rolling along, expanding a productive building it 5 per turn. We're gonna get there. We've had an input goods shortage for quite some time. Yeah, I mean, it's not that. I understand they don't want to have a tutorial be unengaging, and they also don't want a tutorial to be slow. But I think that if they structure it in a way where it is engaging, and I do think advisors talking to each other is a fun way to do it, that there's a way to keep a player interested in the game for 2 hours and teach them a lot of the fun complexities and the ways to start looking at the game as a toolbox, and then to really experiment with it. Because so far it's mostly just been like, here's how to do a thing, but not why we are doing it. And the thing that we are doing is almost as nonsensical as whenever we were looking at like the what was it? I think we were looking at like the change in predicted revenue at one point. Yeah, predicted revenue. after expansion. It's just a nonsense number. Oh my god, fix the unproductive building that you told us to build. Fix the unproductive building that you told us to build. Well, that's cruel. Why would you do that? You monster. All right. So we open the building details panel for the for this guy. Sure. Uh-huh. Okay. If the input goods are too expensive, it can focus on reducing the price. Sure. If the input out or the output side is too cheap, okay. Discrepancies is do trade routes. I mean, all right. If you think so, I'm not so sure because we do only have 4 bureaucracy. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true. That might do it. Yep. Decrees can increase throughputs. Sure. Yep. You can also just downgrade it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yep, they will naturally adjust to the market. Sure. Yeah. All right. If all else fails, you can subsidize it or downsize it. All right. So, if we can make it so that this is useful, we can do that. Yeah, because we have way too much sugar and it's not being used for anything, and so it's just not it's making zero money. So we could export this to Great Britain. Nah, we're not gonna do that. So we will instead encourage exports. Maybe someone will come buy it then, and then we'll do the same thing. Encourage exports, because that way we don't have to. But I don't think they even told us about that. I think they just told us about these trade routes, which is crazy because this is also important when it comes to creating net value for your goods. Yeah, you know what? We could. Oh wait, no, we have 140 coming in from the British market on food. Well, that's another way that we could increase the profitability of our farms is by not trading. Are we the ones importing this? We're the ones importing this? Jesus Christ. What? Why? Why? I again, we want to make sure that we're designing a tutorial that's going to help everybody. And yeah, I think that at this point, looking around and saying, all right, well, what resources do we have on trade and why would be really helpful. Wow. Okay. Well, that'll help. That'll help. That will help. Because now grain is really expensive, like really, really expensive. It might be appropriate to import a little bit of grain from like Ecuador or something like that, or Argentina. Yeah, we'll import a little from Argentina because that doesn't cost any convoys, which is also helpful. But that should be okay. See? Oh my god, we fixed it. All we had to do to fix it was stop importing gigantic amounts of food for some reason. I don't know why were we importing all of this food. It's crashing the profitability of the buildings. All right, we could wait from home counties to Santiago. Why are we spending money importing? I don't know why we're importing liquor. That's crazy. But we can import man o' wars instead. That seems a lot more useful. And so now we're looking through this thing here, right? I think that this could probably be something where we can click something to open this up and then have it categorize. Because we want to find man o' wars, but there's no category anything around here, right? And so if you're encouraging people to look through the import trade route and export trade route, then there needs to be a way to make this expandable and searchable a little better, because right now unless you know what the symbol looks like, which for a new player they're not going to, they're gonna have some real difficulty finding that. I can promise they're gonna struggle. All right, grow GDP. Well, you just told me to import a bunch of man o' wars. Like, you want me to grow my GDP, or do you want me to import a bunch of manowars? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I could build up a tooling workshop. No, or a logging workshop. That would be okay. Tooling or logging would be fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll take Los Rios. That's okay. And by building up a little bit of logging, we'll increase our demand for tooling workshops, which we can then increase, and iron mines. But now it's just saying, like, just go grow your GDP, right? Like, the only thing that it's taught me so far is build wheat farms for some reason. Question mark. I like I think I'm actually going to be able to just review the tutorial in 2 videos so far. Probably not going to finish the grow the GDP thing. I mean, maybe we will. I don't know. It seems like it's of limited value at this point, for me to try to complete the entire thing considering the current state. I could throw a construction sector in here because I know better. But boy, whoa. Details. Yeah. We could be building a lot faster than this. We could have been building a lot faster than this. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Like, what do you think that you would get the most value out of when it comes to a tutorial? Like, I think a lot of the videos that I've shot so far have been educationally aimed. But I think that just having individual videos isn't as useful to some people as having a full playthrough tutorial. But I think that even from the limited stuff that we've seen so far in here, I think it should be pretty clear that the things that we are encouraged to care about in the tutorial are not good. And I really I don't know. I don't think that the giant block of text is nearly as engaging as animated and voiced advisors, but maybe that's just, like decades of playing Rome Total War 1 over and over again until my brain turned to mush. So we'll complete grow GDP, because that one we can complete pretty quickly by just building things, right? Yeah, we can just complete that by building stuff. Do we have enough iron to cover for this? Yeah, we do. We'll be fine. We'll complete the tooling workshop. Oh, right. We need to have a second iron here. And it still has not yet really encouraged me to use a road maintenance anywhere, which is a little goofball, but what are you gonna do? It's Paradox. We could do any of these. I think probably greener grass campaign is it's not really gonna help us though. I think any of these don't really matter. We can do agricultural industry, sure. It has not yet encouraged me, by the way, to open outliner, or if it has, then I haven't noticed it. Which whoa. I don't know. What tutorial from Paradox Interactive do you feel like was the most useful to you so far, and why? Because there have been a lot of them that, like, I've kind of like poked around in and said, nah, they still haven't really figured it out. And every single time I do it, I have the same reaction of like, yeah, they're still working on figuring out a way to do Paradox tutorials, but they still need some work. And so if you've played one, like if you really think the CK3 one is good, I don't think I've looked at it since, I don't know, like a week after the game dropped, because I always approach it the same way now, where I play the game and then see where we go from there. Grow GDP. Oh, come on, buddy. You know you can grow faster than this. You can grow faster than this. Grow your GDP. Yep. That is that. Oh, we could export some stuff, hypothetically. And we could also grow our GDP by just building, right, we could just build gold mines. Like out here trying to figure out, like, all right, we could build all these coal mines, blah 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 blah, like just build Just build gold mines. Just build gold mines. They're right there. They're literally right there. Like, why did we build tobacco plantations? Paradox. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna put those at the top. It's gonna slow down the tooling workshop, but it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to finish this up. So yeah, intensive agriculture. That would, and then that's the other thing. If you're doing like a couple of specific selected countries that you're using for your tutorials, lean into the fact that Chile has a bunch of sulfur around, right? Like that's something. Do you have to take this from them? You do have to take the Atacama Desert from them. But that's another thing that you could have as Chile, right? Is that you could have like maybe they do later on in the tutorial, and I'm just gonna not get there because I'm gonna give up. But the tutorial, I think, should encourage you to use the resources that are locally available, right? And locally available to you as Chile is an awful lot of sulfur, and so the guide, the tutorial at some point should definitely tell you, hey, you know, you Chile benefit enormously from easy access to sulfur, and sulfur is important in this time period because it's going to be used in agriculture in addition to everything else. So go ahead and put your natural advantages to work, which is a pattern that I think that the tutorials really should be distilling into players is yes, there are going to be strategies, generally speaking, that are going to be a little stronger than other strategies, generally speaking, but the strongest strategy oftentimes is to use the things that you have. Because if you're using the things that you have, you are advancing your gameplay in a way that's going to be easiest, right? You can fight against the course of history the entire way, or you cannot. And if you use the fact that Chile has sulfur or gold in the tutorial, I think you can teach them that the thing that you would do as Belgium would be pretty different, right? I think we can teach that. Maybe I'll do like just 2 episodes of each of them. That might be useful too. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Oh man, in that case, this one's gonna just be me mumbling for like 20 minutes as we try to finish the GDP up, just to make sure that there isn't, maybe there's a secret after credits scene, right? Maybe Venom and Spider-Man show up together if I finish these gold mines and complete this grow GDP mission. Tell me if that's what happens, because I'll believe you. This isn't even really going to help me out that much on the grow GDP side. It's just going to give me more money. I'm so greedy. I'm just so greedy. 6 weeks. Unbelievable. If only I had built a construction sector at the beginning of the game, which Paradox Interactive had to know that we had enough money and enough size in our economy to do that. Because you can build one construction sector as Chile. You absolutely can. And then we could have built so much more. We could have built so much more. We could have been somebody. We could have been a contender. All right, we grew our GDP. Explore and change the game. More challenges will appear eventually. Yeah, all right. So yeah, that's Chile. I'll see if Belgium is any different, but I do think that right now, based off of what I've seen so far in the Chile tutorial, I think that the tutorial concept needs to be redone. I think that the information that they convey to players and the way that they convey it to players, I understand that they want it to be accessible to people who don't have a lot of experience with Paradox games, but to pretend like they're less complicated than they are is to, I think it's to do a disservice both to the games as well as to those players, because people should know that what they're getting into is going to be pretty crazy. I think that would not turn as many people away as you'd think, as long as you help them understand it, as long as you act as their guide. And that's kind of what we're doing here on We Play Games. I'm Walker. I think that's it for the Chile tutorial. I think that I'll see if the Belgium tutorial is any different. But if not, then that's review the tutorial, and I'll write a review soon. Okay,